The drowning of Alan Kurdi, a 3-year-old boy on the beaches of the Mediterranean Sea in September of last year, brought global attention to the plight of the refugees. However, Tzu Chi volunteers have long been extending a hand to refugees in different parts of the world, such as Thailand and Malaysia. In today's series report on Tzu Chi's 50th anniversary, we see how Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide are helping to ease the suffering of the refugees. The death of Alan Kurdi during the autumn of 2015 prompted an international focus on the Syrian refugee crisis, but his death was in fact the tip of an iceberg. Since 2011, the ongoing Syrian civil war has wreaked havoc in the country. Lives were lost and children's education stopped.
Except for Allah, I have never turned to anyone for help. This is my first time asking others to help me. I had work in Syria before. I didn't need any help then. Praise Allah. What can I say? This is Allah's will.
I wish things could go back to the way they were, and I want to go back to school. But because of our situation here at home, I have to work to support my family. The children stand by the window every morning and watch the Turkish children as they go to school. It makes them very sad.
I can't translate this. I just can't. These children are crying because it makes them sad to see the Turkish children go to school, and they can't. There are still so many of them who can't go back to school.
Forced to flee from their homeland, Syrian refugees could only dream of returning to their countries safely one day.
In October of 2014, we began our aid distributions and continue to do so each month. We handed out a total of 10,000 blankets to 2,635 households. In the winter months of November, December, January, and February, we will distribute financial aid for them to purchase fuel.
In 2014, the Tzu Chi Foundation collaborated with Mena High Primary and Secondary School with the assistance of Professor Tsuma and the Turkish government to give Syrian children the opportunity to go to school.
I like everything about school. Coming to school, I can learn new things and study. In the future, I can return to Syria to get a job. I want to become an ophthalmologist because my sister suffers from eye problems. I want to find the cure for her illness, so I want to study medicine. When I fled to Turkey, all I could do was work, and my future was grim. It was Tzu Chi and the volunteers who restored the smiles to our faces. Our consideration was, if they don't go to school at the age of 9, then they will be uneducated for the rest of their life, as they start work at the age of 11. We really can't bear to see them this way. These refugee children, if they don't receive proper schooling, then they just become child laborers or wander around outside. It's important for these children to get an education, but this isn't a problem that can be solved with a one-time humanitarian aid. It's a long-term investment.
15 years of hard work was lost. Now with this sewing machine, I can start to rebuild my life and work. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Though it's cold outside, hearts are warmed with a bit of love. For those refugees who have fled to countries which do not recognize the status of refugees as stated in the 1951 Convention relating to the status of refugees, Tzu Chi volunteers are there for them as well. In Malaysia, there are over 1,500,000 refugees in the country who do not have legal status and face the dangers of capture and deportation.
Thank you. Thank you.
In Thailand, there are over 650,000 refugees from 47 different countries lost in the system. To help, Tzu Chi's relief work began in northern Thailand. Beginning January of 2015, Tzu Chi Thailand chapter has held monthly free clinics on behalf of the country's refugees. With such diverse ethnicity of refugees, volunteers would ask translators to join the event to help communicate between patient and doctor.
当台湾人才看着 Alan Kurdi.
When Taiwan saw the images of Alan Kurdi lying on the beach, people were awakened to the plight of refugees. However, a year before that, Tzu Chi had already begun the organization's relief work in Istanbul. The organization displays such compassion.
When others are in pain, Tzu Chi volunteers put their love into action. During tumultuous times, Tzu Chi reaches out to refugees, crossing boundaries and religious differences to bring them a ray of hope.